Welcome to the APTA 2021 National Championship, sponsored by the APTA national sponsors Viking, Fusion, Upswing Health, and My Paddle, and local sponsors Investors Bank, Celebrity Motorcar, the Ford Athletic Club, Elm City Communications, and Riley Green Mountain Platform Tennis Courts. We are live from the Montclair Golf Club in West Orange, New Jersey on the APTA network, presented by ProFlight Live. I am Patty Hogan alongside Jeff Morneau, bringing you the quarterfinals of the Women's Nationals between the number 3 seeds, Kerry Delmonico and Lauren Gebbia, and then versus the Chicago team of Sandy Svetkovic and Spencer Caravaggio. Jeff, welcome to what's going to be an amazing match here. We'll go around the horn, introduce the players. On the bottom right, Jeff, on the bottom right, in the orange Texas Longhorn hat, that's Spencer Caravaggio, and her partner is Sandy Svetkovic at the net. They've won 2 tournaments this year. They've been runner-up in 2 other APTA tournaments. We'll tell you about that later. On the far side in the left court, the deuce court, in the pink tights, that's Lauren Gebbia. Her partner is the one and only Kerry Delmonico.
Well, Patty, looking forward to a great match today.
Yeah, Jeff, you know, it's hot out here. I know you may have been on the golf course earlier up in Massachusetts. It was 71 degrees when I pulled into Montclair Golf Club here for this match. And we'll see if the warm weather plays any kind of role here, Jeff. They're all used to it. It's been hot all day.
Yeah, it's been hot all day, and it's been hot all spring. So, you know, this is obviously, you know, Nationals is typically warmer than the rest of the paddle season. But this year's really an exception, given you know, with COVID and the late start and moving Nationals to April. I mean, we've got another 10 to 15 degrees warmer than I think these players are used to playing in. It's basically summer paddle.
Sure, you know, and the Chicago teams, they're used to playing in a lot of snow and cold. And, you know, Sandy and Spencer, Jeff, they've had a great year. They did play the Grand Prix Series out in the Midwest. That was a special series created by the APTA this year to limit travel for players and, you know, to ensure as much player safety as possible. And, you know, they won Chicago Charities this year, and they won the Lake Forest Women's Open. They beat Morgan and Nuzlocke in the finals of the Charities. They beat Bodman Ohlmuller in the Lake Forest one. You know, they played also in the Winter Warrior. They also played in the Hinsdale Challenge, where they finished second. And both losses to Heather Propp and Wendy Fizz, who couldn't make the trip to Nationals. We're missing them, of course. But Sandy and Spencer they're here, ready for the big time, Jeff.
Yeah, it looks like they're, you know, just from what you've said in this pre-match, that they are really ready to, you know, take on Gebbia and Delmonico. This is probably, you know, it sounds to me like their biggest match. This is an outstanding opportunity for them to, you know, take it to the next level and bring their team really into the top echelon of the top 8 teams in the country. So.
Sure, and you know, Jeff, when we talk about Delmonico and Gebbia, you know, they've had a great year. They finished second in the March to Nationals, the last event they played together. They played the Western New England. You know anything about that tournament?
Yeah, they came up here. Obviously, that's right in our backyard here, back in the, you know, our neck of the woods. They played great. You know, they've been around a long time. As you know, everybody knows Kerry. She's an absolute fierce competitor. She's typically the smartest, if not one of the smartest players in the women's game. You know, she really gets the most out of her ability, and, you know, keeps it just really exciting. And Gebbia has been a great partner for her for a couple of years here. And so I'm looking forward to a great match and seeing if the experience of Gebbia Delmonico can, you know, keep the confidence of Svetkova and Spencer down. We'll see.
All right. In one game, Jeff, we'll make your prediction. I'll make mine.
All right. It sounds good.
All right.
Are you making a pre-match prediction?
I am, because I think it's fun if you predict. And, you know, we're either going to be right or wrong. I'm going to go with the 3rd seeds, Delmonico Gebbia, in this match. Jersey strong. They've been preparing, you know. Sadly, Boston couldn't hold the Nationals from that moment when New Jersey raised their hand and figured out how we could pull off this event. You know, Gebbia and Delmonico have been zeroed in. They're dialed in. I just could see the look in their eyes today when they got out of the car getting ready for this match. I think they just might be a little too, I mean, like the offense of Gebbia, forehand, backhand, Jeff. It kind of reminds me of you.
Yeah. Well, I really like watching her play. I like her aggressive style from the back. You know, she's got that big forehand. She looks for it. She really tries to set it up. And then you've got Carrie back there, who, you know, just is a rock. She's rock solid. I think the warm weather actually helps Carrie. You know, it's going to be very consistent. There's not going to be a lot of transition. She's going to be able to get the balls that go back, you know, that go behind her. She's going to be able to get them because they're going to come flying off the screen. So
right. I think what you're saying is the warm weather makes Carrie Delmonico faster.
exactly. But I'm with you. I can't. I typically like to root for the underdog if I am going to be a rooting person as an announcer. But I can't go against Delmonico and Gebbia. I think
2021.
You know, I think their experience is going to come into play here, especially if the match stays close.
Sure, and Jeff,
see them getting nervous.
Right, Jeff, I got a little bit of an update here on the top half of the draw. We have Hanish Sabori, who are about to tee off with Morgan and Sikora. We have this match here. We have Cruz and Nicolescu, Gio and Williamson, who just pulled out an incredible third set tiebreaker match over Amy Shea and Jolene Suter. And then we have Anika Andreikova, and they're up against Cooper Molokai. And as you can see, we have Mark Bliss, the one and only, as umpire in this match.
Yeah, great umpire.
Monaco Gebbia
won the spin of the paddle and probably one of the most experienced out there. So shouldn't be any issues. And unlike most years, it's going to be nice and warm up there in the chair.
With a 7-game ball rotation.
Looks like they're just finishing up here, getting their warm-ups with their serves. You know, I took a look at the draw, and I saw that both teams have come in here with really not having any type of challenge whatsoever. Both teams won 0-0 in the first round, and then it looked like routine victories in the second round of 6-1, 6-2, or 6-2, 6-2. So for both teams, despite the fact that it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, this is really going to be their first challenge of the day.
Well, you know, Jeff, when you say it like that, only 32 teams qualified for this year's Nationals, and, you know, we're seeing the cream of the crop here. You know, definitely some of the teams that went out in the first round, nowhere near the experience or the accomplishments as some of these top players. So these players came into the game knowing this was going to be their third match, 5 o'clock, and, you know, they're ready for it. I wouldn't expect fitness to be any of an issue at all here, even though, you know, it's really warm.
You know, I'm going to be interested to see if teams are going to be trying to serve and volley, or whether they're going to serve and stay back, because I think, you know, all these women have very good returns, and you know, in warm weather like this, it's really hard to make that first volley when the ball's coming flying at you with so much pace. You can't take the pace. It's hard to take the pace off and get it back. So I'm interested to see how they play this right from the start.
Sure, and that's what we've seen. You know, the strength of Delmonico, Gebbia, they complement each other, have totally different swing speeds, motion, shots, and you know, Gebbia's return to serve, really one of the best in the women's game, off her forehand or her backhand, forehand in particular. And I do see a lot of the women choosing to stay back when serving to Gebbia. So I think I would expect these guys to start straight up, Jeff, and then make some kind of tactical adjustment. That's a great shot of the beautiful new paddle hut here at Montclair Golf Club. They're tremendous hosts, co-host of the Nationals this year with the live streaming provided by ProFlight. Looks like that's going to be Spencer Caravaggio serving first.
Is Caravaggio to serve?
It's the crackly voice of umpire Mark Bliss.
Players are ready. Play.
And we're off.
Good luck, Jeff.
Well, that's one way to start out, with a little lucky let cord.
15 love. Thirty love.
Little background noise here we're hearing. We are kind of close to
30,
Newark Airport.
15. Forty, 15.
It does sound like there's a lot of planes flying over.
Well, some of the teams had a late start time, Jeff. Not this late.
Well, there's a big miss there.
40, 30.
Yeah, you can just see Gebby and Delmonico are firing away here, getting loose in this match, Jeff.
Yeah, they're looks like Gebby is getting ready to pounce if Kerry can get the ball down low right here. I'm just gonna play it steady. Not surprised by that.
Delmonico is a former national champ. She played with Isla, Maine, a finalist as well with Isla. Won the mixed nationals, won the husband-wife nationals with Mike Stulak. Really considered one of the best tacticians in our sport, as you mentioned earlier, and that's what makes Gebby and Delmonico a pretty wonderful platform tennis team.
Yep. There's no doubt that they've come out with a plan. You know, I know Kerry Delmonico very well. She's going to have planned this match. They're going to have a strategy right from the start that they're going to, whatever that strategy happens to be, and they're going to stick with it until, you know, if they need to change it, they will. But right now, let's try and see what's happening.
Yep, these two teams have never played each other, Jeff. So in their early going, they're just kind of feeling their way into this match.
Advantage, Caravaggio, Chetkovic.
I'll tell you, you know, Spencer and Sandy have confidence as a team, Jeff, and you know that's the it factor. And they believe they can win this match.
A little long lob.
They lead 1-0, first set. Yeah.
We got 1-0. I think that's good for them, for that team out of the block to you know, get their nerves out to the extent that they had any. They got a game. It would have been, I think, more of a challenge for them if Delmonico and Gebbia started getting 3-0, 4-1. Playing from behind, but that getting that initial game is going to be, you know, even an additional boost for their confidence.
Yep, great point, Jeff. Delmonico and Gebby are great front runners. That's Delmonico serving.
15 love. $15 all.
It's a nice little soft roller into the corner. Tough shot to dig out.
You know, we know all about Gebbia's power, forehand, backhand. I think a lot's going to come down to her lobbing ability out here, because you could
15.
see in that first game she had a couple of short lobs in a row, tried to compensate, and then hit the lob long, and it's definitely hard to gauge how hard to hit the ball lobbing when it's 70 degrees.
Yeah, you really have to change the way you're playing.
So Gebbia and Delmonico, they won the Long Island tournament this year. Darien Grand Prix, they finished second.
40-15.
They were a fifth place finish last year, APTA's Nationals up in Darien. They know how to get it done.
Yeah, they didn't have as good a run. They didn't do as well last year as they would have liked, but I think they're obviously.
Well, they went out to Midwest, one of the Midwest best team and nicest women, Wendy Spitz and Heather Prop.
40-30.
Another nice shot there right off the nick. Gebbia having some trouble there in the wire. Yeah, almost a great dig by Carrie Delmonico. We're back at deuce. That's a really nice serve there.
This is kind of fun, Jeff. I've not seen a lot of Svetkovic and Caravaglio, but I just love their attitude. I talked to them a little before the match, asked them if they had any kind of plan, if they were willing to share it. They didn't want to share anything.
No, they're very.
Yeah.
They want to keep it together.
Right there, Jeff Morneau, that could be the difference in the match, in my opinion, when I've seen Svetkovic kind of get stuck in that corner over in the ad court a little bit. She tends to play deep over toward that side screen, and if you can hit some overheads around her, you can really jam her a little bit. She doesn't look to use the screen first, I would say.
Game Delmonico Gebbia. Games are 1-1. First set.
And, with that power that came out of one of Spencer's forehands there early on, I kind of would test Sandy's forehand and test her ground strokes off the deck.
Yeah, it looks to me like, I don't know if they usually do it that way, but certainly Gebbia is going to be trying to take more of the overheads at the net, it looks like. Both teams, like you said, I think it looks like both teams are really feeling each other out still.
Love 15.
And that's the return to serve, Jeff. They were talking about from Gebbia and Svetkovic. I mean, if she's going to have success with her first volley, she certainly has to play it closer to the net than the service line. Maybe she was hesitating to let it go through or not.
Yeah, it's just so warm. It's hard to half volley that and even keep it in play.
Love 30.
That's just that she was going to get in transition there. Carrie stayed back. She just needed to put that ball in play and kind of dumped it in the net. Probably not a mistake that she typically would make. Yeah. Well, it's pretty clear early on, Patty, that there's the best play here is going to be to serve and stay back, or they're going to have to go into an I formation, or they're going to have to do something, because otherwise Gebbia is just going to keep hitting return to serve winners time and time again.
Yep, I totally agree. She's going to tee off, and I don't think playing Australian is going to make any bit of difference. I think they just need to start back.
Game Delmonico Gebbia. They lead 2-1, first set.
And Jeff, the reason I say that only is because I've seen Gebbia and Delmonico play enough to know, what juices them when they're playing and what helps them with momentum. And it's those easy points that Gebbia gets off of the return to serve. You take that element out of this match, then it can change the whole game.
Yeah, and you saw what happened with Delmonico, who also, doesn't have a great serve. It's, placed well, but Svetkova and Spencer can hammer it, but you saw the difference there. Carrie's experience really paying off. She served. She didn't even try to come in and volley it when she was serving to the deuce side. When she served to the ad side, she came in, and if the return was high enough and easy enough to play, she played it. If not, she let it go through. And when you saw Svetkova just serve, it was the complete opposite. It was 4 just quick points.
And you talk about the serving. Delmonico, actually, a lot of people have always thought she's one of the, most effective servers in the game. She hits a beautiful spin serve, and she can hit it on a dime. She can move it around, and she's pretty wise about, keeping her serve away from the hot return spot from the other team.
Yep.
I'm just not sure I've seen that, enough out of Svetkovic where she's going to be able to make an adjustment on her serve.
We even just saw it there. Gebbia just stayed back. she didn't want to come in and try to make that first volley. And I think in the
15
long
all.
run, in this warm weather, that's going to pay, percentage-wise dividends for them. But we'll see. There it is again, right? You saw it. There
30,
was the
15.
transition. Gebbia not coming in, slash it through, and then caught her in transition using her very powerful ground strokes.
Jeff, I just got an update. Broderick Palmer down 3-4, third set to Le Prevert
40,
and
15.
Fransenko.
Yeah, those are 4 really high-quality players on that one court. That's going to be, as expected, a total barn burner. It's going to come down to the wire.
And see, Jeff, see this formation with Sandy Svekovic right on top of the net there in the dark black?
Game
And that's,
Delmonica,
you know-
Gebbia. They lead 3-1 first set.
That setup gives Gebbia so much room cross court, and when that player is playing back, hitting more of the overheads, that is going to just fuel Gebbia's game. And I think if Gebbia can throw up a couple lobs up the line, that's going to be real problematic for them.
Yeah, if they're going to play that formation and, Spencer's going to hit those overheads, she's got to hit them to carry, right? I mean, Carrie Delmonico, I should say, she just doesn't have nearly the power that Gebbia does to take advantage of that open space. So, they
Exactly
can play
right.
they can play that formation, but they've got to make better shot selection.
Jeff, Delmonico just slices and dices you as an opponent. She's kind of the combination of shots where Gebbia only needs one touch and she can hit a winner.
Right.
15 love.
So if
if
Gebbia
you hit
hits
a
good
portion,
lob,
yeah.
if Gebbia hits a good lob, you've got to go, the person that's going to slice and dice you as opposed to the one that's just going to give you the one-time kablam and it's all over.
Yep, and when you're getting slice and dice in the warmer weather, you can be off the net and kind of react to the ball a little bit, I think. You're not worried about that ball dipping down at your feet so much.
30 love.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see Carrie go for that shot too often. The backside, double-handed backhand on the return. She's really, I see her, likely lobbing that ball for most of the match. Especially after missing a couple early.
30-15.
You see, there we go again, right? I mean, why not just either go to an I formation or not come in when Gebbia's returning?
Yep, and just in my chat, I was trying to ask a few questions of them, and they didn't want to give anything up. And I just would have asked, well, what adjustments will you make if, they catch on fire? But I didn't get to ask the question.
Yeah, it's not even Gebbia on fire. That's normal Gebbia.
Exactly.
There's a difference, right? She just isn't going to miss this. She's going to make 90% of these returns at 120 miles an hour at the feet. That's who she is.
Thanks to Louise, her mom, who played paddle for 20 years, Jeff, before she lobbed.
40-30.
We love Louise, big fan of platform tennis. Follows Lauren around everywhere where she's allowed to come watch her play. And Jeff, here in Jersey with the COVID safety rules, players are allowed one family member to be here. We're really limiting spectatorship. Montclair is doing a great job monitoring it. They're keeping an eye on how many people come in and out. Same thing over at Canoe Brook, and that's why we've not been able to really welcome as many spectators as we would for all the action.
Yeah, a lot of people over there. Hut commanders are doing a great job. I always appreciate the volunteers, but they're doing a great job making sure that the people are staying safe, social distancing, masks, things of that nature. So that this event can even be put on. It's a needed thing, but it's a great thing.
Over the net. You were over the net. Game Delmonico Gebbia. They lead 4-1. First set.
Well, that'll be.
Yeah.
They really need to make sure they pull themselves together here and not let that really bother them, because they've been playing pretty steady. But this is what sort of we were afraid of in the beginning. Gebbia and Delmonico just kind of getting on a roll here and getting up 3-0 or 4-1, and now look, that's where we are.
Yeah, and I think one of the things about the limited travel, when you're a team and you don't get to see some of these top teams play, it's really hard to figure out a game plan and what adjustments you would have to make. You only learn by being in that spot, as you have learned as well as anyone, Jeff.
It's true. That's true. Although, to be fair, I think that, Svetkova and Spencer kind of had to see this match coming, and there's plenty of, eNet Live, Pro Flight Live paddle of Carey and Delmonico and Gebbia, and you would have thought that they would have, coming into nationals, have at least watched a couple of matches and developed a plan of attack for them coming in.
Well, that's a great point. That's the benefit of all the live streaming that the APTA has been put together. Kudos to Jerry Vion, who's working overtime all year long to try to bring all the action to everyone. And I think she's worked just as hard on nationals as the last 3 years organizing the streaming. So kudos to Jerry. Yeah,
you really, all those little tactical things that we talked about in the beginning are really coming to fruition here for Delmonico and Gebbia, and you're not really seeing an adjustment here by Svetkova and Spencer. It doesn't sound like much, but it's those 1 or 2 points a game that, Delmonico's not giving up that first volley error when serving to Spencer.
Yeah, and Delmonico, I think, is one of the best volleyers in the women's game. She's rock solid, absorbs the pace of it, doesn't swing, committed mostly to her backhand volley. So she's super accurate in her volleying of any pace drive that comes her way.
Yeah, and she's not even coming in. She was serving and staying back, and that's how she's winning the points against Spencer, or getting into the points. Here you see them going an Australian formation, forcing the return down the line over the high part of the net. A little left
30
court.
all.
It's nothing better than a let cord line snowboard shot. Get all 3 in one. Yeah, they're really pressing.
40-30.
One of the things you see Delmonico leaning into that serve is Mark Bliss, one of the game's longtime umpires. He'll call the footfall, so Carey's going to have to be careful, and because if she steps on that line, Mark will call it. And you have to. There's sometimes some of the matches I heard earlier, maybe some of the footfalls weren't called, Jeff, and we really need that consistency for all the players to make it fair.
Yeah, I was calling a match earlier on the men's side, and it was one of those, somebody who steps in with the back foot, and it was pretty blatant, and it wasn't getting called, and I'm surprised that the other team didn't say anything to the umpire. But in any event, I don't know whether it made a difference or not, but that team ended up winning the match. So I'm sure they're going to look at it in retrospect and not be too happy about it.
Yep. Hey, that was a heck of a lot from Svekovic out of that ad court.
Yeah.
Forcing the overhead error from Delmonico. You just don't see that happen that much.
Advantage, Delmonico.
Yeah, you saw right there. That was one of the few times that Delmonico served and volleyed. She popped it up, and it was, really was going to be a fairly easy shot for Svetkova, and she just missed it. But it's a challenge to really. I think it's just a challenge to serve and volley if you don't have a really good serve.
Game Delmonico Gebbia. They lead 5-1.
So Jeff, this match is
set.
going. This first set is pretty fast one here for Delmonico Gebbia. They've won 5 straight games, obviously, and now's a good time for Sandy and Spencer to have a conversation. You know, this is what they need to do. You've got to slow it down. You just can't let a team, you know, get a couple of games ahead. And I don't say that like, you know, as if they can't control it or they can control it, but you have to dig in deep.
Love
And you have
15.
to keep the score close.
Yeah, I like to see what was just happening right there, right? So you got you had Svetkova serving. They did finally go to the Australian against Gebbia, and unfortunately it was a fault, so we don't know how that was going to turn out. But I do think tactically that is really going to help in the long run. It also helps if you know these routine shots that they, you know, like that's a routine overhead that I'm sure she makes 8 out of 10 times, but that one hits the top of the net and went wide as opposed to landing in. They're doing a good job here, really trying to slow it down, talk it over, but they gave up on the Australian already.
Yeah, I didn't think that would last long.
Well, they went to it there. They went with a poach.
Yep. I like the movement off of Australian. Just kind of get Gebbia guessing a little bit. Just get her thinking about something else besides being, she's just such a pure ball striker, Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah, if you...
I like this. Good movement.
Yeah, there we go.
And
yeah.
15,
got
30.
Got him into transition. Yeah, that was a good play. Yep.
And I like, you know, taking some chances, just playing maybe a little riskier here just to see if they can't surprise Delmonico and Gebbia with something.
Yeah, they just need to, you're right. I mean, they need to get some momentum going here. Try a few new things. They're down 5-1. Now's the time to try them just to see if they're going to work.
15, 40.
You know, this set is gone. They really just got to focus on, you know, trying to pull it together for the next set and then get into a third.
Two set points here for Delmonico and Gebbia.
Game and first set. Delmonico Gebbia. 6-1. New ball.
We will be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA network presented by eNet Live, ProFlight Live.
From this website, we really want to make learning easy. We know that paddle can be a lot. When you're out there, you're thinking of hitting the ball, you're thinking of the screens, you're thinking of your technique. There's a lot of things going on. So we want to break things up into bite-sized pieces that make it easy for you to digest, easy for you to learn, and then easy for you to implement in your game. That is our goal.
I'm Johan Durant, and this is my paddle.
mode versus letting that ball hit the screen and come out.
Yeah, and when it's warm like this, it's just so hard to control the lob.
Deuce.
You know, when it's coming with power like that, it's just so much easier to let that hit the screen, bend down, lob it up, bend down, lob it up. And that's the only way they're going to get into these long points.
Advantage Caravaggio Petrovic.
Typically, that first game of the second set, if you've lost the first, it's crucial. And they've got a game point here against Delmonico and Gebbia. Great lob from Spekovic right there. Oh.
Deuce.
It's just a lot of errors. It's just a lot of. I mean, that's a fairly routine volley. They made a great lob. They transitioned to the net. They had an ad point, and then, and then that happens. I mean, there's an experienced play right there. Just, they were in trouble. Warm weather. Didn't try to keep the net. Just moved back. This is interesting.
Advantage Delmonico Gebbia.
I mean, they got into a longer point there, but then they just missed a fairly routine lob. Carrie encouraging her partner.
Non-stop chatter from Carrie. That was a great overhead. Delmonico is wise to just let it go through. Gebbia is right there trailing the play, threw up a lob.
Yeah, that's experience. And you can see they're lobbing off the wires for the most part. That's a great shot. Great little cutter there into the snowboard. Really hard to do, especially in the warm weather.
Advantage Caravaggio Chetkovic.
A really good setup, a 1-2 punch by Spencer. And there it
Game
goes.
Caravaggio Chetkovic. They lead 1-0. Second set.
All right, Jeff.
Patty,
well, they had to have that game.
They did, and I watched that game, and as it started to develop, I saw Delmonico starting to serve volley again. Which I was surprised. She made the volleys, but if you remember that deuce point, she made a very good pickup on the first volley, and then Spencer just drove it right at Gebbia, missed volley. Then Delmonico serve volleyed again. I was surprised to see that. Delmonico had been having a lot of success just staying back on her serve, and she switched it up, started serve volleying. Not that she missed the volleys, but it just changed the momentum. And I think that Svetkova and Spencer got excited about that. That's a good
15
move,
love.
So, Leprever and Prosenko are in an incredible match. They've had 4 match points on Broderick Palmer and not been able to convert yet. Just got an update from tournament coach Greg Morgan. Not to be confused with Evan Morgan or Ben Morgan.
This, by the way, is not the first time that Broderick Palmer have had match points against them in the round of 16 at Nationals. A few years back, maybe 4 years ago, they had
the greatest match.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, Cherwinski and Gambino had them up a couple of match points, and then they ended up losing. And Broderick and Palmer went on to win the Nationals that year. They took out Araya and this guy Morneau in the final.
Oh, my Lord.
So.
Out of Waynesboro Country Club. I remember that match. Just the whole audience just couldn't believe that Broderick and Palmer pulled that out.
We're getting text
40
updates.
love.
It's yet another match point for Broderick and Lapavere.
Are Broderick and Lapavere playing now, or Lapavere and Prosenko playing?
I think
Have they switched partners?
Maybe.
40-15.
All right, here we go. We got a little momentum going. Let's see if we get a serve volley and Gebbia slamming it. Another fault.
40-30.
I mean, this is going to be a tough one to handle. You go 40 love and you go fault.
You see Gebbia sneaking in on Kerry's return just to kind of make Spencer kind of serve and be aware of her presence, sneaking in the court a little bit. Cruz Nicolescu won the first set 6-0 against Gio and Williamson.
Back to deuce.
Back to deuce on the Broderick Palmer Lapavere Prosenko match.
There it is.
Not to be
Back to
confused
deuce
with
here.
Morgan.
Back to deuce here.
You're on it, Jeff.
The double deuce.
And Jeff, they must have been listening to you when you said they've got to play 8 or 9 shots at Delmonico.
Advantage, Delmonico.
Oh, I don't know if they were
Gebbia.
listening. It certainly seems from, it's always easy from afar, but sitting back and watching it, it seemed like the right thing to do. So I guess they figured it out. It's, it's obviously it's too late from the first set, but at least they're, you can see things are just the points are a lot slower. They're a lot longer, and it's keeping them in the match.
And I just think when a team is in the top of the game, Jeff, they're able to make those tactical adjustments after 3 games or 4 games, not just at the end of a set.
That's correct. Yeah.
Game Delmonico, Gebbia. Games are 1-all, second set.
That's going to be a little bit gut-wrenching. Up 40 love, go fault. Gets it back to 40-30. They took the net and didn't win the point. And now Gebbia and Delmonico are, right back in the set versus could be 2-0 very easily.
$15 love.
I love the play from Svekovic right there, just throwing that lob up, forcing Gebbia back and following the shot in. You see with Gebbia Delmonico loves to be the player to the left, Jeff, handling a lot of those overheads. She's got that overhead variety. She holds her overhead a little bit. Gebbia hits flatter overhead, so their success has really been a lot because of Delmonico's overheads as well.
15 all.
Yeah, they're obviously, seeded third here. They're one of the best teams in the country. They've experienced playing together. They've played all of the top teams. So, I would really expect nothing less out of them.
15-30.
See, that was a great rip out of that deuce court from Caravaggio right there. I think that's what she's got to do. I love her forehand. I'd love to see them switch a little bit more from the baseline.
15-40.
Going to an Australian formation. And
Yeah, that was-
Game Caravaggio, Chetkovic. They lead 2-1. Second set.
You could just see Gebbia toss go way to the right. And that's a tough place to toss the ball, Jeff, when you've got your much taller partner playing Australian.
Yeah, it was not obviously the fault is a mistake. We're seeing a lot of that, probably on the men's side as well, but we're seeing it in this match. It's warmer. It's just harder to keep the ball, in the court. You're trying to slow it down as opposed to really put a lot of pace on it. But that, it's sort of like that huge return at Delmonico caused the next two faults.
Sure, yeah, Caravaggio just unloaded on her return to serve.
Yeah, so that one return actually got him about 3 points.
It delivered a message, didn't it, Jeff?
Sure did.
Winner of this match will play the winner of Morgan Sakura, Hannah Shinzabori in the semifinals tomorrow at Canoebrook, slated to start at 11:30. We lucked out, Jeff, today with the weather. It's warm, but it's not raining. Tomorrow we have fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's, warm weather in the rain. Nobody likes to play in, slide ball or whatever you want to call it, skid ball. But, it is what it is. That's why this is an outdoor sport. You play in all types of weather, rain, snow, sleet.
And that's what makes the sport unique. The surface is that rough surface. If people have never seen this and they're used to seeing a tennis court, the surface here is rough, and that allows, it gives you a good gripping, even if you do have to play in the rain.
Yeah, I just can't even imagine if you have the warm weather and you combine it with a slick surface. I mean, these matches, it's going to be really, really hard to break serve. I think it tends to have more upsets when the weather is like that, and it really does. An entire match really does come down to like 1 or 2 points.
Speaking of a couple of points, Liprever and Prasenko have gotten through. They're in the semifinals of Nationals tomorrow, having just taken out Drew Broderick and Jared Palmer.
I'm not sure if they're in the semis yet, but
that's a great point, Jeff. I wanted them to get to the semis. I think they're in the quarters.
They probably feel like they're in the semis after beating Broderick Palmer, but they're not there yet. That's really a monumental win for Liprever and Prasenko. Liprever's been there before. He's been to the semis with Juan, and they're going to get a chance to do it now against get back there for him with a different
40-15.
partner. They got to get through, I think, using powers, but the opportunity is there for them.
Jeff, as you know, it's Drew's tournament co-chair here of the Nationals. It's tough to be a co-chair of Nationals and try to play and concentrate when 1,000 decisions are being made every minute.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really, really hard to do. I mean, I've done it. I've run I've run tournaments up here. You never play your best when you're putting, your mental energy, 5, 7 days, 10 days before a tournament is being all spent on, organization, preparation. If anybody could have done it, it's Drew. He's widely recognized by, players before, now, and for years to come as one of the most mentally tough players that's ever played the game.
Yeah, one of the game's all-time great players.
Yeah, and it's just really hard to run a tournament and to play a tournament. But kudos to him for stepping up and taking it on just so that everybody else could do it. I'm sure he's very disappointed with the end result. But he's had more than his share. More than his share of success with a
4
variety
national
of different
titles.
partners.
Yeah, 3 with Bomber, and they're looking for number 4.
Yeah, it's nothing to be. He's got nothing to be ashamed of. This is a very rare thing for him. So, he's just he's a great player, a great guy, and he's for sure gonna get past this, and I'm sure he'll be back next year. But this is, you can see in this match here, we do have some tactical changes that have taken place, which I like to see. And as you can see, they're now, I think they were staying back before on their serves, and that's helped. So this match is getting a little bit closer.
30 love.
It's Spencer Caravaggio. She's out of Glencoe, Illinois, and she's playing with Sandy Svetkovic, who lives in Chicago, Illinois. Svetkovic is the director of platform tennis at Midtown Athletic Club. Spencer is the head rackets professional at Lakeshore Country Club in Glencoe, Illinois.
This is, that's the formation that they've really been getting themselves in trouble with.
Caravaggio Chetkovich lead 3-2, second set.
We will be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live, ProFlight Live.
Sure, other companies make platform tennis balls. Viking makes the #1 ball in the game. The player's clear choice, the Viking ball. Extra duty advanced flocking process promotes proven, longer wear, and provides the perfect texture for maximum ball spin and control. High-end, proprietary rubber compound allows for the softest feel and the most consistent bounce. It is the official ball of the National Championships and the official ball of the Grand Prix Series.
And welcome back to the APTA 2021 Nationals, presented by eNet Live, ProFlight Live. I'm Patty Hogan, along with Jeff Morneau at Montclair Golf Club, West Orange, New Jersey. One of our 2 sites for live streaming this weekend. And we're in the second set of one of the quarterfinals.
Yeah, we've got a much more competitive second set here. What a great pickup by Gebbia. I just don't that's the play that's been getting them in trouble, right? We've talked about it earlier. And, just keep going back to Delmonico back there until you get an opportunity to go side screen.
Yeah, Gebbia is just invincible off the deck.
Yeah, and this is a better formation for Svetkova and Caravaggio. And you can see the difference in the offense when Carey's on the Delmonico is on that side hitting the overheads, and you've got Caravaggio on the back hand. It's a better formation for Spencer Caravaggio. When Delmonico and Gebbia are at the net, and Gebbia's on the backhand side, the ad side, and Svetkova's on the ad side, it's been 95% of the points are going to Gebbia Delmonico.
15-30.
But I do like to see that they're serving and staying back and getting themselves into the points.
Yeah, that's just the easiest way to slow down play.
Great shot.
15,
Great
40.
transition by Gebbia. Delmonico with a come on, recognizing that this is a very important game in this set. Chance to go up 4-2. Yeah, there.
Game Delmonico, Gebbia. Games are 3-all, second set.
Pat, you just see the experience there, right? Gebbia returned, she ran in, Delmonico came back, chipped it at her feet. Gebbia's sitting at the net. I mean, even if that volley comes back over, Gebbia's probably going to knock it somewhere for a winner.
$15 love. $15-all. $30-15.
It's like a tennis match right now. All 4 players back. Loose
30-all.
volley in transition. 30-all.
$30-40.
Patty is still there. We're getting close here.
Deuce. Advantage, Caravaggio, Chetkovic.
This is a big point for them right here to get them back in it. I think we've got 2 serving 4. Got ad. Really an opportunity for them to get back to 3-4. This is more like it. Long paddle point.
Game, Caravaggio, Chetkovich. They lead 4-3, second set, new ball.
All right, so here we go. They got back into this thing. It's 4-3. We got Domenico Gebbia trying to pull this match through here and try to close it out at 2 sets. You know, we've got Svekova, Garavaggio are really gaining some confidence. They've changed tactics. They started doing that from the beginning, and now they're beginning of the second set. They started slowing things down, staying back a little bit more on their serves. They've stopped giving up those fast, cheap, and easy points, and are making Delmonico and Gebbia work a lot harder for the points that they're getting. Cut down on the errors, the lobbing errors, and that's really why this set is as close as it is. So we've got a new ball, and we're ready to start. Here we go.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Patty. Welcome back.
Well, thanks. I took a little break there. I'm sorry to leave you, but you know, if anybody can handle a solo, it's you, Jeff.
No problem. I wasn't quite sure what was happening, but I like that look right there and that drive. You know, that's the formation that they really should be looking for, is Delmonico on the left hitting the overheads and getting Garavaggio over there on the ad side. Now the only
lot
other
of credit. Oh, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Patty. Go ahead.
I just say a lot of credit, to Spencer here and Sandy. I love that they're battling here, and it took them a little bit of time to make the tactical changes, but they are right in here in this quarterfinal match at Nationals.
Yep, they are. I don't think Gebbia and Delmonico are going to change their tactics yet. There's no need to, but I think if obviously, I think if this goes to a third set, they're going to have to make some changes. The only other thing that I see that Svekova and Garavaggio can do is when Svekova is serving to the deuce side, to the ad side, is I wish that immediately after serving she'd switch back over to the deuce side, so that Garavaggio can immediately get into the ad court.
Love 30.
Yep, I love that play, Jeff.
Just like here they're in fine formation. This is going to be fine from the backcourt.
Love 40.
That's an error you just can't make. You've already given up the net, so you just want to put that first one in play. And look, here they go. They're doing it. That's exactly what they're doing. So they've clearly put some thought into this. And I think this is what's going to give them the best chance at the end of the day to win the match. Not that they're necessarily going to win it, but I think this is the formation that is going to give them the best chance. It just makes everything go a lot slower. And there's a...
Game, Delmonico, Gebbia. Games are 4-all. Second set.
Delmonico, Nick. And we have 4-all. And this is
second set, women's quarterfinal action from Montclair Golf Club.
Yeah, Delmonico knows how big this game is right here. It's these big games like this where I just don't expect to see any mental or really physical mistakes from Delmonico. And you saw there's the formation again, right? Gebbia on the left, and Svekova
15
in the
love.
ad court, it's almost a guarantee that Gebbia is going to end up winning that point. And they've got this formation again. Yep. Good drive there
15-all.
by Svekova.
Jeff, I was thinking, of all the top women you get a ball to serve at 4-all in a crucial point in a match, Delmonico is one of my top 3 women I would feel real confident with in this situation. You can see she put a great serve up the tee to Spencer on the prior serve. That's what we were talking about earlier, her ability to move her serve around away from her opponent's strengths.
30-15.
Kind of a weird play from Gebbia right there to give up that net on an off-speed shot from Svekova.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. She was out of position, but if you're gonna give up the net and go back, you got to make sure that first ball you hit
40,
is in
30.
play somewhere. They need. Yeah, I think Svetkova and Garavaglia need to find a way to switch here as fast as they can. Oh, what a great get by Gebbia, and then just a missed overhead. Just needed to jump a little bit higher.
They lead 5 games to 4, second set. Delmonico Gebbia won the first set 6-1.
The voice of Mark Bliss, longtime APTA umpire.
Yep, coming up, they're going to get a chance. So we've got Hanish Zabori have just rolled through Morgan and Sikora 6-love, 6-2, and advance to the semifinals. Cooper is ahead of Andrakova and Enica. They won the first set 6-3, and they're currently up 4-3. So that one's a nail biter like this one going into the second set. And Cruz and Nicolescu are just handing it to Gaio and Williamson. I really thought that they were going to, find some mental and physical energy, but it looks like that's a 6-0, 5-0 at this point. It's just going to be a walkover. Probably just nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, Shea and Sutter took them to the deep, long third set tiebreaker, 3-hour match.
Love 15.
That's a good move. She had her up. She had them back away from the net, but I don't think Gebbia needed to hit that one that hard. A little slower and a little bit more at the feet would have set up the next one. But I think, as you said earlier, Patty, Gebbia knows one speed. power.
And it works 94% of the time.
That's right. That's why they're one of the best teams.
Yep, our number 3 seed here in the national championships.
Great shot. Really nice dig there by Gebbia out of the corner.
Yeah, that was a pretty
15,
good
30.
deep lob. Tough ball to roll with that much pace from 3/4 depth.
Yeah, they're grinding it out from the back, and you know they're playing their game. Delmonico and Gebbia have done it before. They know what they're doing. Their plan is to keep lobbing until Gebbia gets a whack. And that's exactly what's happening.
Yep, it's risky
ball.
play, just feeding
15,
Gebbia over
40.
there. Two match points, Gebbia and Delmonico to advance into tomorrow's semifinals.
Yes.
Now there's a rare miss.
30, 40.
Decided to swing a little bit easier and it went flying out.
Yeah, forget that strategy.
I don't know why you'd do that all of a sudden. But she's been really on today. The forehand's been on.
Kind of a weird play. She stayed back. Carrie just went and just pushed the ball back in play. No one wants the net here, Jeff.
Yeah, I saw this a little bit earlier when you were offline for a bit. We actually had 4 people at the baseline. We had a couple
great.
tennis points.
Ah, great volleys from Svekova.
Oh, what a get by Gebbia! She flipped it. It was behind her body. It looked like she just flipped it and made it over the net, kept them in the point. And there it is.
Game,
There it is.
set,
It's
and
the big
match.
backhand.
Delmonico, Gebbia. They win 6-1, 6-4. Great match.
Well, a good match, I think, Patty. Is a very solid match. I think when Svekova and Garavaggio go back and take a look at this one on the screen, and I'm sure they're going to learn a lot from it. I think they'll realize that the strategies that they put in the second set, they should have started earlier and maybe played some more balls to Delmonico rather than Gebbia just to lengthen the points. But at the end of the day, the experience and of Gebbia and the play of the experience of Delmonico and the play of Gebbia powered them through.
Yep, and they now are up against, as we said earlier, Hanish and Zabori in one of the semifinals tomorrow. Time hopefully is 11:30 start. All the semifinals and finals of the main draw will be played out of Canoebrook tomorrow, Jeff Morneau.
Great. All right. Well, I think I don't know what the next steps are, but I think we'll
Ready to sign off now and get ready for the upcoming men's quarterfinal, the other men's quarterfinals matches at 7 o'clock.
All right. We'll talk to you later and see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye-bye.
1, 2, 3.
What are you guys counting?
Stars
Where do you see stars?
on all these cars.
Spot a star on a car, and you're looking at a celebrity motor car vehicle. You'll enjoy exclusive red carpet treatment like no other, no matter what luxury brand you choose from Celebrity.
Look, Mommy, you know our car is a star.
The fastest way to get the status you deserve and the value you expect is to follow the star to a Celebrity motor car dealership.